Hello everyone, CMeeCraft here, and welcome to another First Look. Today we'll be taking a look at Fatal 12, which is, from what I understand, a visual novel which just recently came out on Steam. So, yeah. Let's jump right in and take a look. There are a number of terms used to describe a sequence of events that lead to a specific outcome. Some call it life, others call it a story. One is responsible for much during this sequence, such as choices picked, relationships built, and mistakes made. All of that is for the sake of proceeding along a predetermined path. That is the natural order of a world ruled by the concept of fate. Fate never strays from its course, regardless of how cruel it may be. My life and the events in it thus far are simply the product of fate leading me to a certain outcome. That's why I've never once given thought to any missed possibilities found along this path. My life has never been anything worth talking about in the first place. I've never had the luxury of considering the what-ifs. After all, I've convinced myself life has no do-overs. Once the story ends, that's it. My name is Shishimai Rinka. I'm a second year at Emeka Girls University High School, a rather famous all-girls school in the big city. Unlike my middle school, which was a hodgepodge of top students and those who barely showed up for class, this is the realm of refined, wealthy ladies. A realm I certainly don't belong in. In fact, they wasted no time labeling me as a delinquent of sorts. One reason, really the main reason, is the golden streaks in my hair. However, it's my natural hair color, so the school itself has no issue with it. Not like I get hassled for it either. It's just a bit too out there for these sheltered students. The main reason I chose Emeka was because it didn't seem to have many regulations in regards to appearance. It turned out they just didn't list anything due to its unspoken rules, based on being a traditional school. I was pretty upset when I got treated like a delinquent despite having not broken any rules at the time. Fewer than 3 months later, I've stopped caring. Much like how I have my own values, the girls here have theirs. I can't understand their viewpoint, so it's only natural they can't understand mine. To tell the truth, I'm pretty content with making no effort to look at life from another's point of view. That is, until a certain event caused a massive change in my life. It all starts on a certain day before Golden Week. Huh, the station's clock is not moving. I wonder if it's broken. I relay my observation to Naomi as we pass through the ticket gates. Oh, you're right. I'm surprised you noticed. It's not often you see something like that happen. Right? Oh, I'm sorry for interrupting you. What were you saying? Well, I seem to have forgotten too. This is Hitsuji Naomi, a first year at Emeka. Is it Emeka or Emeka? I won't say Emeka. You might assume that I know her from club activities or something like the student council, but it was coincidence that brought us together. She may be my junior, but I simply see her as a friend, because age difference doesn't matter much to me. We're headed back to my place right now, making our way to the station platform to wait for the train. Wag! Watch it! She yelps as she trips over nothing but air. Fortunately, I snag her hand and keep her from falling on her face. Well, she tugs me forward in the process because she's a bit taller than me, but she manages to regain her balance quick. So sorry again. No worries. Thank you so much. Now you're overreacting. I'm not sure if it's due to her meek nature or not, but Naomi tends to trip herself up pretty often. She's the kind of girl you look at and suddenly feel an inexplicable urge to protect. Well, what's up? My hand, please? Oops, I forgot to let go of her hand after catching her. Oh, sorry, did I hurt you? No, not at all. It's just, well... She casts her eyes downward as she answers. Maybe I squeezed a bit too tight without realizing it? I'll go with an apologetic expression. The train's almost here, let's get going. She fixes her glasses, which had become askew after tripping, and then points towards the platform with haste. Situations like this typically lead to a replay of the events from just a minute ago. What? Oh. Wag! Jeez, you're a real handful, you know that? She bumps right into a passerby the moment she starts to walk toward the platform. Even worse, it causes them both to topple over. I'm so sorry. Sorry, she's a bit too clumsy for her own good. I make my way over as they get back to their feet. She bumped into what seems to be a young girl. She's about the same height as me, but her face is definitely younger. Sometimes Naomi gets mistaken for a middle schooler thanks to her big round eyes, but that's not the case with this girl. Are you okay? I noticed how pallid her eyes are when I try to speak to her. Her hair is pure white, but mostly obscured by her hat. She definitely looks young, but her facial features stand out more than your average person's. Safe to assume that she's a foreigner, then that means her hair isn't dyed either. Unlike Naomi, this girl has fallen backward. Since Naomi bumped into the girl's back, you'd think she would have fallen face first, but she quickly spun around while falling. Not only that, but she also made sure to cradle the bag that was on her back. Based on its size, I'd guess she's here on vacation. Chances are she's carrying something fragile in there, like a camera. She's by herself too, so I'm assuming she came here with her family and has somehow gotten lost. Man, we're really Sherlock Holmesing this up right now, aren't we? What I think is a key on her bag at first actually is just a keychain. She hops back to her feet, bag in hand, her glare drilling into me. You should apologize, Naomi. She seems a bit too panicked to get up on her own, so I lend her my hand once again. I'm so sorry about that. Wait, are you a foreigner? What do I say in situations like this? Sorry, pardon? You should take a deep breath first. She offers nothing beyond an empty stare as Naomi apologizes and bows her head. She seems like she wants to say something, but for whatever reason opts not to. Eventually she runs off toward the platform without making it clear whether or not she understood our apology. She spins around to face us one more time, but I get the feeling that she's locking eyes with me, not Naomi. It's funny, thanks to her unique appearance, she still stands out in the crowd. Then again, my hair causes me to stand out as well, so that's probably how she spots me so quickly. In the end, I'm not able to tell if she finds her parents or if she actually has come here all alone. Sorry. Hey now, no point in saying that to me. You did apologize to her and she didn't seem to be injured, so I guess it's fine. That being said, you really gotta pay more attention to your surroundings. Right, I'll be sure to use severe caution with each and every step I take from now on. You realize you're gonna trip again if you do that, right? Oh, I can't see her anymore. Is something the matter? Don't tell me he actually did get hurt. Wait, he? Wasn't that a girl? Was it? You may be right considering how pretty she was. Which means I've been doubly rude. The sound of an approaching train rises as our conversation falls. Much like Naomi, we make our way over to the platform. Try not to trip stepping in this time, okay? Okay. We make our way onto the train, bound for Shinjuku, having largely forgotten about the person Naomi bumped into. We board the next train at Otsuka Station. My place isn't far from there. We first have to get off at Shinjuku Station before taking the metro for 2 more stations. The only issue is that we're making this journey at 5 p.m. Pretty much rush hour, so the trains are packed. Naomi and I get practically glued together on our journey to Shinjuku. So sorry, it's my fault that we got caught in all the foot traffic. Don't worry about it, I'm used to this, it's no big deal. Sorry again. Are you Canadian? Huh, is that? I spy a familiar bag from amongst the crowd. Well, the bag itself is standard, so it's actually the keychain that catches my eye. Yep, it's the kid from earlier. Standing right in the middle of the passenger car, bag hugged tight against their chest. They're not tall enough to reach the overhead straps, but I doubt they'll fall over thanks to how cramped it is. Also, pictured crammed subway car. Didn't expect them to be in the same car. Did something happen? Oh wait, their bag's open. The strap is probably unfastened a bit due to people rubbing against it on the train. I'm just worried because the kid doesn't seem to have noticed. The other passengers probably didn't care enough to notice either. Some are reading the newspaper, others are killing time by checking out all the ads, but most are on their phones. I doubt I would have noticed if Naomi hadn't bumped into them. And that's why I'm the only one to see what they are doing. With a deadly serious expression, almost as if they are being squashed by incredible pressure. What's that? Something black is peeking out of the bag. It looks mechanical, but different from a camera or a laptop. For whatever reason, my mind leaps to a conclusion that I've only read in fiction. It's a bomb! Before I can finish, it happens. A flash emits out of the bag. A bomb? Naomi! The detonation is almost instantaneous. A wave of heat propels throughout the train car, enough to feel like my skin is being seared off. Well, a sharp explosive roar comes right after, puncturing my eardrums. I duck in front of Naomi to protect her, and then push her away. I feel my body being pushed by the explosive shockwave too. And in that moment, my body is burned beyond repair within the flames. Well, that was shorter than I expected. However, my consciousness remains intact. Huh? I hear a voice. I don't feel anything anymore. Vivid memories pulse through me. The shockwave, the pain, the heat searing through my body. And yet, I no longer feel any of it. Huh? My consciousness begins to fade. Or maybe I've already lost it. This is but a remnant of it before it fades away completely. Final fleeting moments of a consciousness drowned in a sea of fire. Rinka! Rinka! My sight gradually fades too. No doubt my consciousness will be spirited away like a leaf in a gust of wind. If nothing else, being able to hear that voice puts me at ease. Well, that was an explosive opening. There's no arguing that fate has decided to end my life here and now. Oh, it's over here. Fatal 12. 'Kay, wow. So I guess that's just the opening of the game, so, familiar voice, eh? Rennie? Earth to Rennie? Rennie, you there? Rinka, I don't know. Rinka? I hear two voices calling out to me. I know who they belong to without even seeing their faces. Wake up, damn it! Ow! Ouch! A sharp pain rushes through my forehead, causing me to finally lift my face off my arms. No doubt this'll sting for a while. What happened to the fire? Fire? Were you dreaming? Sounds weird. Dream? So I was asleep? Just a little. No need to be polite about it, Narin. The one responsible for waking me up is Aguma Mao, a classmate. As usual, she's got her wildly colored hair tied up nice and neat into pigtails. Beside her is Naomi, and seeing how they're still in their uniforms, I guess we just got back from school. As of just a dream, fascinating. We're at Lion House, the cafe run by my grandmother. The first floor serves as the cafe, while the second floor serves as her home. Since I'm living with her, my room's also on the second floor, although it's probably more accurate to say I'm living on my own right now, considering she's gone off to the countryside to help nurse an ailing relative. You still half asleep there, Rennie? Allow the absolute legend wake you then. She clicks her mechanical pencil and presses it against my cheek before scribbling all over me. Ouch! I'm awake! Keep the lead away. Mao, you're a monster. Naomi is visibly disturbed by how much Mao seems to have enjoyed doing that. Well, it certainly has helped to wake me up. A lingering issue, however, is that I can't remember why we're here. Sorry, but, what are we doing here again? Oh my, did the pencil technique fail to wake you up? I think my memory's kind of fuzzy, thanks to that dream. I can't remember what I even dreamt about. I mentioned a fire when I woke up, but I don't recall being involved in one. The fact that I can't remember is starting to annoy me. Wow, weirdo. Naomi interjects after I fire a glance at Mao. Well, it turns out our class is opening a cafe for the Culture Festival next month. I was appointed as head of the committee for it. She's making no attempt to hide the fact that she's been forced into it. Granted, she's probably the most fit for the job, considering how serious and thorough she is when it comes to this stuff. I heard about your family running this place, so when I asked, you said it was fine for me to tag along. Her explanation helps to grasp the situation. Oh, that's right. I told you to come over so we could chill and hash things out. The store's only open for the regulars right now, since my grandmother's away. Sometimes we get a first-timer or two, but I've only got simple stuff on the menu for now, so I can handle things on my own. It doesn't get really busy, so there's no issue in inviting her along. As my gran always says, Lionhouse is everyone's second home, so there you have it. Yep, there you have it. I hoped I'd hear that today. I understand what she means. This is the first time I've been here, but I feel so welcome. Just make sure you don't feel too at home and fall asleep. Oh, shut it. Mind explaining what you're doing here, then? I was bored? Figures. What does your class plan on doing? Can't remember if it was a haunted house or a fortune teller. Basically, we haven't decided yet. Really? Shouldn't you have some idea by now? Things will work out one way or another. I hate to say this when you're working so hard, but we don't really care how it goes. Me and Rinny ain't the most popular gals in class, after all. The committee's making sure we don't get too involved. Yep, although that's not the only reason I'm helping you. Just keep in mind that I'll be busy here sometimes. Oh, okay. Thank you. She nods, struggling to hide her concern after hearing that she probably thinks we're being bullied. We're used to how we're treated, though. It's not like they're going out of their way to ignore us, they'd just rather avoid us whenever possible. It's funny, though, Mao still gets along with plenty of the girls, and I'm pretty sure no one outright dislikes me. It might be more accurate to say they try not to get too involved in our lives. They understand that we're different, so it creates a rift between us. Speaking of different, we're not the only two. Mishima Maharu, who's probably at work right now, is our comrade in that regard. Hey, I'd like an iced latte. We don't serve lattes. We have a cafe. Let's do. That'll do. You realize you're not getting it for free, right? Never mind. Water. Fine. It's on the house. Just this once. How about you, Naomi? Are you sure? Come on. This cheapskate Captain Rinka we're talking about. Better take her up on this rarest of offers. Well, may I have a black coffee, please? Sure. Coming right up. I make my way to the kitchen, wash my hands, and don my apron. You're a pro the moment you enter the kitchen. That's what my grandmother always tells me, and I believe it. I may be making these for friends, but that's no excuse to do it half-hearted. Anyone who orders a black coffee gets a nice serving of Full City Guatemalan beans. Full City is a roasting method used to reduce the acidic tones of the beans and make them more bitter. Beans from Guatemala are typically more acidic than others, so this kind of full roast is the perfect way to balance their acidity and bitterness. I prepared the siphon before placing the flask on the alcohol lamp. The key here is making sure the flame's position just a touch to the side of the middle of the flask. Once it starts boiling, I shake it gently and then wait for the beans to fall. Once they're all in the flask, it's just a matter of letting them sit until they become fragrant. Here you go, Naomi. Oh wow, what a nice scent. I can smell it from here. Thanks. Naomi's comment makes me happy, but I've still got a long ways to go. My grandmother knows how to apply different brewing methods based on the bean type, for example. All I'm doing now is applying her instructions to make things easier for me. There's still plenty to learn. Alright, next up is Mo's Iced Latte. You make this by preparing coffee first and then adding plenty of ice into a glass before topping it off with some milk. This way you get to see the coffee's black and the milk's white mixed together in the glass. Once that's done, I jam a straw in it and walk it over to Mao with some syrup. Here you go. Tell me if you need more syrup. Thanks a bunches. I make myself some coffee after that, take off my apron, wash my hands, and return to my seat. This is so much better than what I make at home. You're incredible, Inka. This is a cafe after all, but my grand is the incredible one, not me. Speaking of which, does no one else work here? Mao dumps half of the syrup into the cup before even giving it a taste, and then pours in the remaining half. Hearing the ice clink as she stirs it is nice and satisfying. Well, I mean, it's a pretty small place. My grandma handled the place on her own before leaving, so we don't need anyone else. She's taking care of a relative, right? Yep, she planned on closing the store temporarily, but I convinced her to let me keep it open whenever I'm not at school. Figured I'd be able to make coffee no problem, but it turned out to be way more difficult than I imagined. Even after a month of trying, she hadn't given me her seal of approval. I knew we'd have to close the stores at that rate, so I really went for it and managed to barely get approval right before she left. How long have you been running it for now? She left near the end of March, so about a month? I take a sip of my own coffee after answering. It definitely smells and tastes a lot better than when I first tried to make some. I'm used to drinking her coffee, so the fact that I can answer with pride means I'm definitely getting there. Granted, I'm still a long ways from her level. It'd be nice if we could make coffee as good as this for the cultural festival, but I doubt it would be easy based on what you said. Would they even be able to tell the difference? I could see most of the students dumping in milk to counter the bitterness, just like me. I wouldn't be surprised, but that's not a problem. Plenty of parents and teachers will be there, so I'm sure they'd be pleased. I can only imagine how long it would take me to learn, considering you spent a whole month training under your grandmother, not to mention the other people who'd be in charge of making it during the day too. Yeah, I doubt it'd be possible. The equipment doesn't come cheap either. Talk about relentless. I figured as much. We're probably best off relying on instant coffee. Whoa, all I said was that you wouldn't be able to make the same coffee as we brew here. Huh? I could set you up with our bean supplier so you can get those on the cheap. The equipment itself shouldn't exceed your budget either. but making it, ask my gran if there's a nice and simple method for you. I doubt you'll be able to make it taste the same way as here, but it should be good enough for the customers. Can't say I'm totally confident, but I'll teach you what I can. After that, it's on you. I noticed Mao grinning as I finished my spiel. She probably expected me to say that. Naomi is obviously taken aback, but she quickly starts to nod and then responds. I feel bad for relying on you this much, though. If you're willing to put in the effort, then I don't mind. Besides, being able to teach you whatever my gran comes up with should help me too. No worries, Naren. People often get the wrong idea thanks to how she looks, but Rinny loves to stick her neck out for others, especially friends and family. No, I don't. Anyway, you game, Naomi? There's a hint of concern in her expression, but she gives me a conclusive response. If you're willing, then I'd love your help. Sold. I'll call you after my gran gets back to me then. Thank you. Guess I'll pop in every now and then when I'm bored. Don't forget that you're paying next time. Cheapskates. It's called business. With that out of the way, we spend the rest of our time together chatting. I have to help a few customers, but they don't mind me talking with Mao and Naomi as long as I get their orders in a timely manner. In fact, some even join in the conversation, not just because they're regulars, but because I've known plenty of them since I was a kid. They kind of feel like relatives in a sense. Lionhouse has always had that homely feel to it. Both me and my grandmother considered it our second home. That's why I hope it stays that way once she gets back. Both Mao and Naomi leave just before 7 p.m. I head up to my room on the second floor after closing and cleaning up the shop. I gotta be honest, I'm pretty excited about helping Naomi. So was the whole train explosion thing actually just a dream? I enjoy making coffee as it is, so it'll be nice if other people end up feeling the same. Knowing Naomi, she'll probably pick up on it easily enough, although her clumsiness is a concern. That aside, what was that dream earlier all about? I felt okay once I started talking with Mao and Naomi, but I can't shake the weird feeling from when I woke up. I've never felt like that before. I can't even say for sure I was actually dreaming. Huh? What's that? In the middle of telling myself to forget about it and try to sleep, I notice a thick book on top of my desk. It's an auburn color with some gold leaf decorations on it. I assume these are gears? Seems like the kind of book my grandmother would like, but I don't remember putting it there. Let's have a look. I take care when cracking it open, trying not to get it dirty. What the? There are no pages inside. Rather, there's a rectangular gap in the middle. I close the book immediately, having more questions now than when I spied it. Might as well message Gran about it tomorrow, considering it's already this late. My phone vibrates after I turn the lights off and hop into bed. It's a message from Naomi. Let's see, thank you for offering to help. I'm looking forward to this. She's a sincere girl, isn't she? I sent a quick emoji in response and then placed my phone beside my pillow without checking to see if she reads it or not. What's this? Huh? I'm pretty sure I've fallen asleep, but I feel conscious. Except I can't move my body or even speak. Is this sleep paralysis? Or maybe it's a lucid dream? Wait. I hear a man's voice, but I don't know to whom it belongs. A figure appears soon after, but I can't make it out all that well. It's someone slender with a vaguely androgynous face? I can't respond, so I wait for him to continue. Yeah. I see fate has led your life to its conclusion. No need to get depressed, though. You've been given the rare chance to live again over the next 12 weeks. Surprising, huh? Yeah, tell me about it. Don't get the wrong idea. There's nothing uniquely special about you. It's all down to the fate you carry. He spouts this nonsense at me in a calm, almost rehearsed fashion. Who am I, you ask? Also nobody special. I'm just the one who watches you from above. Under normal circumstances, I'd never meet with anyone personally, but fate has deemed that your dreams will connect you to here. Anyway, I'd planned on more introductions, but I think that's enough for now. But before the curtain rises on this play, let's kickstart your memory a bit. The man disappears as soon as he stops talking, and my consciousness fades away once more. What? Oh, we're back here. Flames envelop me. Flames powerful enough to flake the skin from my bones. Flames that produce enough smoke to smother my lungs. My life turns to ash. My inability to move, even my fingers, tells me as much. I hear someone shouting. Whoever it is keeps shouting over and over. The calls are eventually drowned out by the roaring flames that continue to spread. By the time the voice has been entirely drowned out, my consciousness has extinguished. Ah! I wake up from my own uncomfortable scream. What an awful nightmare. I was engulfed by flames and died. I'm drenched in sweat. My breathing's beyond ragged. Even worse, I notice a strange black blob on my stomach, all the while wondering why I even had such a dream. Oh, it's just you. Meow. This is our cats. Lethe. I'm still not sure if my gran got it or if it was originally a stray, but it's made Lionhouse its home. It's been here as long as I can remember, but it's still pretty lively despite its age. Maybe I was struggling to breathe because it's lying on my stomach? Is that why I dreamt what I did? It jumps from the bed and skitters off when it realizes I'm about to get up. Must be nice to do whatever you want. They say cats are free spirits, and Lestat is a perfect example. I don't know where it usually goes to hang out, but it doesn't cause any trouble here, and it knows where to do its business. My gran always said that trying to keep a cat caged is about as pointless as trying to catch clouds. In other words, she's had her fair share of trouble with it as well. I have myself a good stretch before I get ready to open the store. Today's a holiday, so it needs to be open nice and early. Just as I think I can relax a bit after the morning customers have left, the bell on the door chimes. Welcome. Oh, hey, Maharu. Good morning, Rinka. In trots a tall, stylish girl with matching looks. The sun reflects off her long, silky hair, enough to make it seem like she's generating her own light with each and every step. That's Bishima Maharu for you. She's a classmate of mine and part of our to-be-avoided group, but in her case it's more because she's practically perfect in every regard, so people find it hard to approach her. Are you off work today? Nah, my shift starts soon. I should have figured, considering she's wearing her school uniform. She normally wears her own clothes when we're out in public, but I guess she can't be bothered to pick something out to wear for work. Helps her to avoid getting hit on by guys on the way home, too. Not sure how that works exactly, but hey. Thing is, she works way out in Akihabara. This is why, Shinjuku pretty much... This is by Shinjuku, pretty much the opposite side of town. So why'd she go out of her way to come here? Does she need something? Just popping by to see your face. We didn't get to talk much yesterday, and since we're off for the next few days, I wanted to talk to you before vacation stuff. Right, thanks. I have to admit, there are certain facets of Maharu that I just don't get. I'm pretty confident she has some other business out here, yet here she is, teasing me. It's hard to find the right response sometimes. Anywho, I'd hate to distract other customers, so I should be on my way. Time really slipped by as I waited for the opportunity to be with you alone. Why? Wait? It's all regulars here, so they wouldn't have cared. The weather's so pleasant today, I kind of enjoyed taking in all the greenery, so... Okay. Whatever floats your boat, I guess. There's a park across from here that's famous all over the country. Apparently it was an old samurai's garden that became a park after being used as a zone for experimental agricultural projects. Not only does it have all sorts of flowers from here, England and France, but there's also plenty of tourists who come by to see it. Unfortunately, we're a bit out of the way to draw them in as customers, but a couple of foreigners do find us and stop by every now and again. We have a good view of it from here, although I don't think it's the kind of thing you can enjoy for long. Maharu has some peculiar taste though, so who knows, maybe she can. Well, my apologies for intruding. Do be sure to get some rest, will you? Sure thing. Good luck with work yourself. Oh, before I go, you haven't forgotten our promise to go to Stardust Kingdom on the 5th, have you? Be sure to tell everyone that the cafe will be closed that day. Come on, as if I'd forget. Stardust Kingdom's a famous theme park out in the Chiba Prefecture. We've made plans to go there at the end of the Golden Week, fully aware that it'd be at its busiest. Just making sure, considering your past record. Anyways, see you then. Yeah, bye. See you later. Maharu leaves with a smile on her face. I had to stop myself from saying bye because Maharu isn't fond of people saying that whenever they part ways. I get where she's coming from. It sounds like what you'd say for a long-term parting, but I think she's going a little overboard. Either way, I try to keep myself from using it when I can. Just as I'm planning to brew some coffee for myself, someone else makes their way through the door. Welcome! Oh, Naomi! In comes another friend. Can't say I'm surprised by her cute outfit choice. Oh, good morning! Morning, come in. The fact that she didn't mention Maharu must mean they didn't cross paths. Naomi seems a little down, though. Not only that, but I can tell she had second thoughts about coming inside, either because there weren't any other customers or because she's conscious of the fact that I'm trying to run a business. What's up? I still haven't asked my gran about an easy way for beginners to start make some relatively good coffee, so hopefully she hasn't come to ask about that. I have the option of teaching her myself, but I'd rather not do that with my own relative lack of knowledge. Yesterday, I think I might have left something here. A book by chance? A thick, expensive-looking one with golden gears on the back and front? No, I'm fairly certain I didn't leave a book here. Figures. Not sure why I asked when she never set foot in my room, so obviously she wouldn't have left anything there. Turns out it is her pencil case. She could have just sent me a message about it last night, but apparently she only noticed it was gone this morning. She lives here in the Shinjuku area, so she decided to take a walk and drop by to pick it up. Oh, my mom just messaged me. Guess I left it on the kitchen table. Sorry about this. Well, that settles it. Or that, anyways. It's so Naomi to do something like this, though. Since you mentioned it, what kind of book were you talking about earlier? She jumps back to a topic I'm not expecting. Oh, did I pique your interest? You certainly did. I'm curious because you said it seems expensive. Makes sense considering you're into books. Give me a second, I'll bring it down. Not like I have any customers right now, and the street's fairly empty. I make my way up the stairs to get it. Here you go. An auburn cover with gold leaf decorations. I can tell Naomi's impressed, judging by the hushed noises she's making while examining the cover. This trumps what I had imagined. It seems really old, but it doesn't have the smell that other old books do. Do you mind if I open it? Go ahead, but it's pretty weird. How so? Her inquisitive look shifts to a confused expression upon opening it. Can't blame her, there aren't any real pages, just a big rectangular hole in the middle. You're right, this is weird. It reminds me of those old magical card books that were popular back in the day. Card books? Did you ever watch that one show where a girl would transform using cards and fight things? Maybe I did, maybe I didn't. The book is just a glorified box for you to store the cards in, so... Wait a minute. Aren't these cards at the bottom? I didn't notice at first because they're so thin, but... Oh, you're right, they share the same pattern as the cover, so I never noticed. Can I take them out? We probably shouldn't mess with it anymore. It might be my grand's. Let me ask her about it first. It's no regular book, at least. I'd feel bad if we uncover something that she's been wanting to keep secret. That's why it's best to ask before we pry any further. Naomi's heads fly off the book almost immediately after I say that. So sorry, I always get so carried away when it comes to books. I shouldn't have been fiddling with it so much. Don't worry about it. I'm the one who brought it down. You could tell she was entranced by it. I guess a book like this would fascinate anyone who's as into books as her. Okay, I should probably put it back upstairs. As soon as those words fall out of my mouth, someone new walks through the door. An actual customer. Not one of the regulars, though. A woman with a suitcase like a tourist from abroad. She ends up asking where her hotel is, which is apparently closer to Shinjuku. I end up telling her that she's come a bit too far out. Apparently, she's come to Japan alone to tour all the famous temples, but is in a bit of a pinch that she can't understand the language. Once I tell her where to go, she thanks me and goes on her way. She doesn't order anything, but she is kind enough that I can forgive her. Wow, I had no idea that you were that good at English. Naomi can't contain her excitement after the woman leaves. What do you mean? I'm awful at it. Are you? Are you trying to be humble? You were speaking fluent English to that lady. Huh? Now I'm the one who's surprised. We were speaking English? It felt as natural as any other conversation to me. Also, anyways. Then again, she did mention that she didn't understand Japanese. There's no way she'd say that if we had such a fluent conversation. What's going on here? I hope you don't expect an answer from me. After putting the book upstairs, I return with one of my English textbooks. Throw some questions at me. Okay, how about basic vocab? Well, let's see. She throws some questions at me, like I ask, and lo and behold, I can barely answer them. See, bad doesn't begin to describe my English skills. I understand that, but now I'm concerned for a different reason. She tries to be as polite as possible when pointing out my inadequacy. Funnily enough, she didn't even have to look back to the textbook for the last few questions. It's worth noting that while studying isn't exactly my forte, English is a subject I struggle with more than others. That makes the fact that you were talking with her all the more strange then. It felt like I was having a regular conversation, so if anything, I'm more dubious about whether or not Naomi's right. I doubt anything will come from thinking it over for now, so I'll pay more attention the next time a foreigner comes along. Well, now that I'm here, could I order coffee, please? Not for free, of course. I don't mind, but don't worry, I meant it when I said I really like the coffee you make. The smile on her face is almost blinding as she speaks. I can feel my cheeks warming to a bright red. It's hard to describe the happiness those words instill in me. It might actually be the first time anyone said that to me, considering I mainly serve regulars. They typically compare me to my gran, which isn't all bad, but they've never praised me as an individual. That's why I can't help but be taken back by what she said. Enough so that I struggle to give her a proper response, let alone thank her for it. I make some coffee for her and she sips on it while reading a book. As she does that, I either handle orders for customers or clear up the tableware. Once an hour has passed, Naomi gets her things together and comes over to the register. I feel bad taking money from a junior, but she seems satisfied enough. Oh yeah, you got any plans for the last day of Golden Week? Sunday? I mean... No, I don't. Why? Me, Mao, and Miharu are planning to go to Stardust Kingdom, but we'd rather have an even number so no one ends up on a ride alone. Want to come? Stardust Kingdom? I'd love to go. Good. I'll tell the others, and we'll get a group chat set up for it. Actually, will Miharu be okay with this? Do you two not get along? Well, no need to worry about that, so long as you're up for it, and your purse permits it, you're welcome to come. Okay, if you say so. I'm not quite sure why she's acting so reserved in regards to Miharu, but at least she's willing to join us. I get back to work after seeing her off. Okay. Alright guys, that seems like a decent enough place to end this first look here at Fatal 12. It's certainly crafting a very intriguing storyline, or at least seems to be at the moment. I'm very interested in seeing where this whole thing is going. What are we dead? Are we not? Are we back from the dead? Did we go back in time maybe? Are we in another dimension? Is this the land of the dead? I don't know. But yeah. So this costs like $20 on Steam. Seems to be a very well produced visual novel. And definitely has at the very least an interesting premise. So anyways guys. Yeah, and who knows, if you guys want to see more Fatal 12, we very well could do perhaps a full series of this on the channel. If you're new to the channel, then make sure you check out some of my other videos I've done on somewhat similar games. Like I did a video on Border for Heart, which is a visual novel, and then I've done Princess Maker games, which are kind of different, but sort of similar, so yeah. But anyways guys, until next time, I've been CMeeCraft, and I'll catch you in the next episode, whether more Fatal 12 or something else. Goodbye.